It's like the fancy steakhouses when we attend RE Plus in Vegas.
When you get to go to the fancy
Yeah.
steakhouses, right?
We walked down the street with, what's his name, the Steele guy that took us all to dinner this last couple shows ago.
Carlos,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is when you can justify the fancy steak dinner, right?
Yeah.
The rest of the time you don't do this, right? Yeah. Carlos, what a good kid.
He messaged me the other day on LinkedIn, just, hey, out of the blue, how's the business going? Are you guys scaling? I asked him the same thing. We chatted back and forth for an afternoon just to catch up. He had his stuff together.
Yeah.
Like on point.
Yeah.
It was a fun dinner.
Impressive kid.
And then the waiter that asked us like 9,000 questions and Dylan knew all the answers.
That one threw me off. And so then I thought, well, all right, Dylan gets to order.
Yeah.
Don't mess it up.
And then forgot the vegetables 3 times.
I've never seen somebody bring over a hat rack. Right? Carlos was wearing a big old cowboy hat. And all of a sudden, here comes a
Portable.
I don't know, a stick with legs, right? And they put the hat on, the cowboy hat. I kept looking around. I'm like, what the heck's that cowboy hat sitting on?
Just floating.
Yeah. So now when I'm in the Texas area or with people with cowboy hats, we go to dinner. I'm like, you got a hat rack, don't you?
Yeah.
That was quite the place. All right. But speaking of hats, now we're back to hats. But you and I were going to do a hat day and the Gentleman Club.
The gentleman.
It's not a gentleman's club.
I've never been.
It's just a private bar.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go.
I did ask, do you have to be a gentleman to be a member?
Only my mom calls me a gentleman.
The answer is yes.
Yes, a gentleman and a scholar.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. All right. Looking forward to that. And that'll get me geared up for rodeo season, which is coming up here in Tehachapi.
Yeah, 4th of July around the corner. Junior rodeo starting next month. A lot of work going on at the rodeo grounds right now. We had some tenant improvements because we leased that from the city. Okay. And so getting ADA compliant and then adding parking spaces. We're going to look to add some more boxes as well, just because they've been super popular. It's my favorite season, without a doubt.
I'm glad you talked me into it, man. I love that. And, yeah, I think somebody will be looking for those sponsorships. But there's to the Tehachapi Rodeo.
TMRA, thank you.
TMRA. Mm-hmm. I love that sponsor. That was Altair's second thing it sponsored. The first one was Bronc.
Yes, he sponsored my son in his rodeo event. It's still one of my favorite pictures. I've got a collage being made of like me following him across the arena the first time, his first Altair sponsorship, and then each one of his sponsors as he added them to his vest. And it's going to be a good season. This year will be a light season because he's only going to be doing rough stock. He was moved out of the Pee Wee League, and now he's in the Junior League. So rough stock's all he has, and then he has a year before he can jump off the gate and then do junior bulldogging. So where he jumps onto a steer, grabs its head, twists it until his legs turn out. So I'm I think that's going to be his jam.
He'll like that.
Yeah. Yeah, rodeo season next month. Still debating on if my middle is going to do rodeo. He usually rides that stick horse to the railroad track, out the gate and down the road.
That's great. All right, I'll go on that one.
Yeah.
I'll be right there with him.
Yeah, Saturday mornings will be fun for the next few months to get them to do that. And then they're in T-ball right now, which is always fun to watch them kind of hover around like a group of bees and chase the ball. Half the kids out there with the glove on their face looking up at the sky. But how's your grandbaby?
Those are great days. Oh, he's just healthy as can be.
Yeah?
Yeah, and oddly strong.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah, I'm calling him the Avenger baby. He's the
Do you have a
Avenger
cape?
We're good. Now
It's happening.
Now we got to get a cape. Yes, definitely getting a cape. Yeah, he's amazing strong. I mean, hours old, he was turning his head.
Right. And then like rolling over right away.
Yeah,
And just
within like a week.
that's
roll
wild.
over. So, you don't worry about him, not being able to breathe or something, but sure as heck can't set him on the couch and walk away.
He's a Tiefenthaler. He's just got that willpower. Just says go do it.
That's right. Well, I told the parents, you named him Maverick. He's not going to listen to the rules.
No.
He's going to break every rule.
Get a best friend named Goose.
Yeah. They don't enjoy that as much as we do because that's our era, right? But, the Maverick is, the don't follow the rules kind of name. And, we got a lot of airplane stuff, though, at our house.
The Blue Angels in Pensacola, when they get big enough, man, it is something to see when it comes to planes.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, that's where they practice. That's where they're stationed. It's pretty neat.
That sounds cool.
We're headed in July to go see them.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Just after rodeo.
Just after rodeo. Because summers aren't busy enough to just throw air show across the country in there.
Right. Just on the other side. Well, that's good. All right. Well, tell me, how's Here to Serve doing?
Man, it's been a great start to the beginning of the year. Super glad to be out of Q1 and moved into Q2. But good technicians, good workflow. Normally you see that lull at the beginning of every year, and it's stayed consistent. Like our guys have stayed busy. Projects are still moving along. Not as much EPC work going on, but maintenance stuff. Like folks are getting ahead of the curve of knowing that like before peak season gets there, we need to do some stuff, and let's get it done now so that the park will produce, over the high performance months. How about you guys?
Yes, similar story, right? we're in the same industry.
Yeah.
The Q1 blues are over. We're happy, you say happy to be to Q2, but it's like, welcome to Q2.
Yeah. And kind of where did Q1 go? Because like, how are we halfway through April? And we're looking at what's going to happen in Q3. Like, I guess that's always the business mindset, right? Like, is if you can get to a 10,000 foot level where you're looking at your business and the market as a whole, instead of just focusing on what the day-to-day is and putting the people in the places that can do the day-to-day while you get to go build and grow and get the pipeline ahead of you.
The old forest through the trees challenge.
I think I have that clarity for like 30 minutes a day. And then you go back to the forest. But even that 30 minutes, it's moving the needle at the end of the day, right? Like when you sign off at the end of the day, you close your laptop. What did I do to move the needle?
Okay.
And as long as you have days that outweigh moving the needle than not, then you're headed in the right direction. And it's hard. Sometimes you have weeks where you don't, right?
Yeah.
But we're in the people business. You deal with people problems. Like we don't have a widget. We don't have a factory that produces, oh, here's your connector. No, my connector is my guy that's connected to the site, that's feedback of problems and then troubleshooting and learning how to increase productivity, or where areas sometimes you just can't, even when ops sometimes pushes to get productivity moving faster. Sometimes there's just not a way. And the guys are thinking of that though. And that's what I really have enjoyed about Q1 was like guys are shifting their mindset from being a part swapper to a critical thinker.
Nice.
Going through the problem. Like, okay, this is the easiest fix. Here's the most expensive fix. What's in the middle? And then walking through the step process instead of just, oh, swap that. Nope, it didn't work. Do it again. No, like find the root of it, and then you can stop systemic at that point. So I guess that's a big call out for Q1 for me was guys thinking through problems instead of always having to call when they hit the wall, right? I read this book end of last year called The Obstacle is the Way. And it talks about this story of a king placed a huge boulder in the middle of the entryway to get into the kingdom. And so people would climb over it. People would go around it. It made it difficult. And one guy stopped and was just like, how do I go through it? And he dug a trench. He rolled the boulder out of the way. And then underneath it was the pile of gold.
Yeah.
And so because he went through the obstacle, he wound up with the reward. And so getting guys to shift that mindset is super cool to see, because so often now techs are just, oh, this is what the procedure says. Well, the procedure doesn't always mean that, yes, follow it, but then think through the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, kudos, man. You're answering the problem that our industry has, especially in this country, about where do you find more people, right? More technical focused people to provide those services. And we have the same challenge. More folks need to be doing, I think, what we're doing in order to answer that call. This country wants more energy. I don't care what you love. Right. It can be oil, it can be renewables. It doesn't matter, right? You still need more people to do it. And developing those folks and making them, go from new to industry, entry level, just got your cert, so you're safe, right? You're not going to get hurt. But now how do you grow your career and become a professional? Ooh, that's a labor of love right there. And it sounds a lot like what you just described, going from, follow the procedure to critical thinking.
Critical thinking. And like so often people judge critical thinking like you're trying to judge what everybody else is doing and you want to buck the tide or go the other way. No, it's just trying to find a better way and thinking through the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just think that there's one solution. There's hundreds of solutions, especially in our business at the end of the day, right? It just, which one's the shortest path to get there? Some folks take the long one, and that's okay. Others take the short one, and then those are the ones that are just now moving up the ladder as technicians. What are you guys doing to, foster that with your technicians?
Progress the career?
Yeah. That same piece of like, don't always just follow the easy path that someone's laid out in front of you, but think through the problem yourself and then find your solution.
Mm-hmm. So that's the attract piece of our motto. Attract the people that have the passion and the hunger to go get it.
Okay.
Right. So first find the folks that have the fuel in the engine.
Yeah.
That's the step one for us. And it's not easy. And, attrition rates, I ignore anything under 90 days. That's the get to know you period.
Right. Desired.
That doesn't even count,
it's
right?
Interview phase. Everybody looks good on paper, but once you get in the field and you're working and you build the relationship and their nuances and the way that they talk to each other or what frustrates them, or some guys have bad Mondays, some guys have bad Fridays.
Yeah. So it's number one. So we're trying to attract the folks with that fuel, that passion for it, first of all. I think that's a third of the effort, and that's hard enough. Then after that, the education is, let's face it, mostly OJT. There's, of course, some classroom stuff. We do some online stuff. We're doing more and more online technical now. You don't have to fly them around quite as much to get them in there. So we're doing some of that. And then it's pair them up with the right mentors and shift them around on scopes of work. So they're getting the feel for it. Plus you're getting those other senior technicians, at the time with them for the training. Also, those senior technicians give us the feedback.
Yeah.
Right. On how's this person? What do you think? That's great. Got to know them. They really want this. Let's get them over to this project, So the education piece is truly mostly on the job and with other people. I mean, we're a services business. It makes sense, right? Keeping with the people.
Have you found that like some guys that aren't the senior techs are even better mentors than sometimes the senior techs? They're just personable and they get along. Like, I think it's kind of crazy how some guys are built to be leaders, but they're not excellent troubleshooters or excellent at doing the paperwork. And then it's putting them in the right seat on the bus so that they can keep your team molded together and, the camaraderie, right? Where you don't just want to see the guy at work. You're okay with hanging out with somebody after work. And I've seen a shift in that where like some of my senior guys that have been doing this for a decade, they're like, I don't want to share that. I don't want to. I'm worried about these new guys, and then the new guys are just like sponges sometimes, where they want to take it all in and they want to talk to people and they want to learn it. And to your point earlier of like trades and finding the right people, it's finding those sponges that want to soak it up and that are excited about what they're doing, not just doing it because that's their trade at the end of the day.
Yeah. You got to want it. Your trade, but it becomes your vocation.
Right.
Right. And then it becomes what feeds your family. This is where most of us go, right? You build these families, and now all of a sudden you got, more humans to take care of. So you have to foster that career.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. And then we also offer some management training, some intro to management. I'm running my second round of classes right now.
Yeah. You teach on Tuesdays?
Tuesday evenings. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a 12-week course. It's a lot of discussion and a couple rough assignments. But those kinds of things made me great when I was younger, when I got to hang out at GE. So I want to give it back. And then I also teach, Erica Miglaccio was on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I'll credit her for this. It was the well put. Everything that made you great as a technician that they wanted to promote you to management will make you the worst manager.
That's no joke.
Right? Everything that made you great as an individual performer, individual contributor, will make you the worst manager. And it's so spot on said that way. And it's just so simple. So I have incorporated the philosophy a little bit. But so it's just teaching management skills and management styles and having fun with what are your styles, and everybody shares. And then, after a few weeks in, everybody finds out that you can have all the styles. You don't have to settle in one. You settled in one because of just whatever life path you walked. But you can do them all, and you must do them all if you're a manager.
And it's the folks that understand that really thrive. It's others that are set in their way that get stuck. And I think, like, for us both, our mighty middle, our mid-level managers is the hardest piece to either get somebody the confidence to take the next step out of their shell to go to that level versus staying there and then defaulting back to just being a great technician.
Yeah. So, okay. Actually, this was a little bit of yesterday's class. Have you ever had a manager or seen the manager that was had these peculiar things, like always did it this way, always, gave the order this way, never gave bad news on a Monday, or I don't know, weird particulars, but that was, people got used to it and said that's how that manager is.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has had these experiences. Well, sorry, managers, I'm going to call some of you out now, but what we know about you guys is you've never had manager training. Sorry, fellas, but if you're stuck in your way and you have your one type of leadership philosophy, one type of MO, mode of operation, right? You just haven't learned the others.
Yeah.
And you should, because the folks that report to you, they need you to be the others in order to move up. Sorry, guys.
I have a great lead on a project on the East Coast, and he had some of his techs come to us, and they were like, hey, this guy gets frustrated with us sometimes. And I was like, well, tell me the instances when he gets frustrated that you guys are wanting me to talk to him about. And I'm like, well, when he has to explain stuff to us the third or fourth time, by that point, he's just irritable and grouchy. And I'm like, okay, let's take a step back. Did you hear what you said, that he had to explain it the third or fourth time, and that's when he got irritable? Well, he is an audible teacher. So he will read the procedure. He will tell you how to do it. But half of his crew were visual learners. And so we got together in a powwow and we talked about it as a group, and they got to tell him that piece. And then within like 2 weeks, when we came back and did a review, they were like, man, all it took was for someone to call out the way that he was teaching us, and then he didn't have to explain it 2 or 3 times. He didn't know how to identify that they weren't audible learners and they were visual, and they didn't know how to convey the information back to him that they weren't understanding it. And it takes that mentorship, it takes that leadership and guidance and the open mind from both parties to be able to get together, right? So, I mean, we don't know what we don't know at the end of the day, and we have to go learn it.
Yeah.
And if you're not open to it and you're, like you said, that kind of tunnel of this is my management style, man, you're only going to manage down at that point. You're never going to manage up. You're never going to manage lateral. You're not going to be able to make a move at that point. You're going to be stuck.
You got to use all of the different management styles. And I wish I had my book with me to kind of rattle them off, but I tell stories in class, and I'll tell this one. The autocrat style is the guy that's just barking the order.
Okay.
And out. It's clear. You understand the deliverable. You understand the timeline. You understand success and failure. There are no questions. But dude, man, he walked up, he barked it, and he left. Maybe you've encountered someone like that, maybe not, I don't know. But, you know, it's very direct, this autocrat style. And so when I talk to folks at Altair, we get into weeks into the class, and I say, all right, tell me what style you've seen me use in the company. And none of them, I say, you've never seen the autocrat? No. You think I could do that one? No, I don't think so. I don't think you could do that one, Adam. Go talk to any of, I bet, I don't know, 10 to 20, 15 to 20 GE colleagues of mine, and they'll say, yeah, autocrat, that's that guy. That's that guy, 100%, right? Because, that was the job I was in, dealing with senior professional individual contributors. They wanted the directive and then get the heck out of the meeting. Directors with people, they wanted the details and get out of the meeting. Engineers, what do you want? Get out of my way. You can't tell me how to do my job. Just tell me what you want, right? So that style does work really well in the right place.
Right.
You know where it doesn't work? In the field.
Nope.
It does not work in companies like HTS and Altair right now. It's a real rough one. So that, I love that they have never, experienced that from me.
That's a good feeling, right?
But, I think good leaders need to know how to use all those different types. So it's kind of principles.
What is your style? Did they tell you the way that you lead?
Well, my style is I use all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, have for a lot of years, but I got that training a lot younger in life and just remembered that and go about it. My style is I don't have a style, right? It's I choose based on who I'm interacting with.
Gotcha.
Who to be, yeah.
How do you identify that? Like me and you sitting across the table from each other, you look at me, how would you lead me down the path?
Oh my goodness. So I need to first understand what will motivate you and excite you and want you to grow. So I got to get to know you a little bit.
Fair.
And just ask simple questions.
Yeah. Build a relationship.
And then if I understand that about you, now I can choose what style of communication to use.
Got it.
Yeah. So you got to get to know the people.
Carrot and stick.
It's not carrot and stick. No, you're going the other way with that. No, you have to.
The reward versus the repercussion. Like you were talking about, like some folks like that directive upfront, expectations being clear, because then it's get out of my way and I know what my success looks like.
Yeah.
Whereas others, it's I want to go to the next level, so they're people pleasers or folks that are that sponge that are willing to just soak up because they're open to it. So when I say carrot and stick, I don't mean it as like dangle the carrot and then or you get the stick. It's like, no, some folks want the directive and they know that it has to be done by X time, and others are more reward focused at the end of it, right?
Right.
So it's just the way that they look at their situation personally.
Right. So, no, for you, but I know you. So autocrat is absolutely the way to go. You're a high-level performer. You just want to know, what do I need? What do you want?
What is the deliverable?
Yeah, right? And then, on your way.
I'll tell you when it's done.
Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Or
Yeah.
would you like to sit around and have a whole discussion and debate about, I don't know, who to hire and job titles and org charts and skill sets and matching people and tools? Would you like to go over all those details with me? No.
No.
But
I
so that
think
wouldn't work well.
time and place, right? Like, how does your company scale? Yeah, we got to talk through all those pieces and what requirements need to be set in place for our teams to go and effectively do the work ahead of us.
Yeah.
But for both of us, it's what does the end game need to look like? And then I'm going to go perform to that level for you.
Yeah. When we launched, I needed all of that small detail and extra stuff like to help on the launch, right? And I've told these stories because I didn't know like the tools anymore, and so many components changed and where to get stuff. So yeah, I was the baby that needed to be, coddled and handheld. And
I think that's also the piece of just our own security of like, now I know, and then it doesn't have to be explained. I have the answer.
That's true.
Right. So that's why so often we're reading books, we're researching, like in our free time, we're like, I don't even use Google anymore. It's an AI bot on the phone. And when I have a question, that's where I go to.
Really?
And then you can go down rabbit holes of how long does it take to replace this component in a solar field? And you get about 90 answers. And then you go to the other chat bot and it'll give you something different. Are you guys utilizing that in your day-to-day?
Yeah, I was just looking up the other one that was more like the influencer. I couldn't remember the name. That is this laissez-faire. But, you have the autocrat, the Democrat, and then the influencer, right? Like the three main types, and then you can kind of break it down a lot further. But
the influencer, explain that one. Is it by you influence by doing it, or
so
is
it's not democratic where you're not pulling information and sharing things in order to create the directive and the plan, but you're influencing someone to get them to want to do what you want.
I made it your idea.
Yeah.
And now it feels good.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've all worked for people like that.
Right.
Without a doubt.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, Altair Energy Services, and their highly trained, expert technical staff, leveraging decades of renewable power management experience into customized solutions for everyone to meet their energy goals and contribute to a better future for all. Altair's team of hardworking, respected experts are providing full-scope, turnkey repairs, planned and unplanned maintenance, system upgrades, fully autonomous technical crews, supplemental staffing, and customized dynamic scheduling to fit your power production needs. Contact Altair at info@altairenergyservices.com and learn more about their wide range of capabilities across multiple power technologies and platforms.
I think where I got to be successful in learning how to manage was having so many different styles of mentors. Right? Like when we were the first company that got sold to private equity at Whirlwind, I had so many folks that had a piece of my daily work. And then I could pull from one, I could pull from another. And then that helped me become that kind of mesh of each style. To your point of just build the relationship and then understand them, and then you know how. And I really want to give that back to my current leaders so that they can see that, because it is not a one size fits all.
Right. No, it is not. And you're very lucky to have had those experiences. That's what more people need. Yeah.
I was pretty fortunate. Like those folks at the original company were it was a rock star team that had every walk of life and every piece of a renewable industry or a business builder or, just a cultural person that knew how to talk to people or tell a story, folks that remembered really well and could tell you the same story the same way 3 years in a row at the same time when you got to see them. And that's our job, right? At the end of the day is to be that person as much as it's difficult because it's time consuming. Mentorship is time consuming.
Yeah.
but the reward at the end when you see that person grow and then function so highly, it's unmeasurable.
It really is. Unmeasurable is the right word. Yep. Speechless is how it is my only reaction in life anytime those things have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can't even utter the word proud. It just, it's not, the word's not good enough.
Yeah. It's that warm, tingly feeling in your body that just like, dang, I got that one right.
Yeah. It is clear you and I are built for services, my friend. We got that in common, and certainly that passion for it. And, our country needs it. Our energy industry needs it. It's like, we talk about technology. We talk about, the advancements and make more power and smaller square footage and things like that. But it's always the conversation of where are you going to find the people? Where are you going to find the people? You hear it every time you go to a conference. There's, I don't know how many sessions it comes up in conversation, and then just sitting at the tables and mingling, these things come up, especially being part of a service company. This seems to be a question I get one or two times just in, where do you find the people? I'm like, you just keep looking.
And
you don't stop.
You start building them at some point, right? Because if we continue to trade techs like baseball cards for $1 over the fence, and but we keep putting megawatts in the ground, we're going to run out at some point. And, the trade show piece of meeting with the owners, meeting with the ISPs, meeting with the OEMs and the O&Ms, we got to come together and figure out how we start building more of it. More of those technicians that care about the site and that want to put megawatts online, right? Once the project's built, it's great. How do you keep it performing? And I love the shows for that, because that's everybody's question is, I have a project, it's underperforming. Can you help me get it to performing? Here's some software that can help you. And when we get together at these conferences, you get to see everybody at that point, right? My favorite is the first night of a show and who's at the hotel lobby bar.
Okay. All right.
Because that, everybody gets in, they finally got their bags put away, and then it's just like, for a second. And the conversations don't start with pitching each other the whole time. It's just, how have you been? What have you been doing? How's your family? And that relationship piece that just comes into play. After that, it'll shift gears pretty quick to, we are here for a reason. But what do you think about, when we first started, it was 2 shows a year. And now it's a show every month. Are you attending? Are you presenting? Are you guys trying to talk? I have a hard time balancing it.
Yeah, it's nuts. No company could hit them all. Trying to wrap my head around it as well. Spent some more time this last year hitting different shows that hadn't heard of before. You'd say the last 12 months. Even some new ones that popped up. What was it called? Wind Summit in Houston.
Yeah.
It's 60 people. And it was their first one, I think. They had done one in Melbourne ahead of that.
Okay.
But educational, I suppose. Decent networking, depending on what your agenda was. But it was tailored around solving the problems on wind turbines, quality problems. I don't say that. Let's say performance problems.
Okay.
How do you increase the performance? And these are, older turbines too, not just
legacy style.
Yeah. So good conversation, great engineers attending, and, project manager stuff, people. So it was the folks that were there were the right people to tackle them. So good conversation. Anyway, did a couple different ACPs. I did, what was the one we saw each other in Austin? Peak or something, or Recharge.
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 Yep, that was the end of last year.
Yeah, that was interesting. That seemed more like that was a lot of development, siting kind of folks. But that one might have been the most friendly group of humans I'd ever seen. I think I made more connections off of that one and just friends and stuff out of any of them in the last 12 months. So interesting type of people. Did Solar Plaza, was that a couple weeks ago or so? Saw you down there?
Yeah, we were down in San Diego. That's the show that used to be at the Dell over on Coronado.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of outgrew it. It was one of my favorite shows. I love that one because it's O&M and safety.
Mm-hmm.
And it has the folks that really deal with the day-to-day and have problems. And when you can get enough decision makers in a room, you can affect change at that point. And sometimes I feel like some of these that we go to get so big and it's so spread out because you can't house it all in one convention center or one hotel that you spend more time trying to schedule your time and then walk from one to the other and then still stay caught up on your day-to-day activities, that it gets a little diluted. But I don't think I could say I've been to a show that wasn't beneficial. Like there's always some type of fruit that gets bared out of going and being with your industry counterparts.
Yeah. Okay. Fruit. Let's circle back and break that one down together. But yeah, first time at Solar Plaza, just came down for a day. Loved it. Definitely going next year and foreseeable future.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm learning a lot more about solar and about battery as well. Big wind background. So yeah, Solar Plaza is a solid one. ACP OMS I like.
Mm-hmm. That one's coming up here. We got a couple months and we'll be at that one.
The big one's coming up right in Houston. That will be Altair's very first booth ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So we have Altair, Flagstone, and What's Up Renewables all
Shout
together
out to Jake.
in an area. Yeah. Jacob, Media Man himself, will be there with a special helper. And so we'll do some podcast stuff there too. But our first booth, that's kind of cool. And I think it's 3 years, and for me, like signifies
happy anniversary
in July. Yep, thank you. But when we launched it, I always said it never made any sense. Nobody knows us. You're not going to come and get us. Let's get on foot, right? We can be more effective on foot, moving around, and we were. Now we're big enough that, okay, people know us and you can have a few meetings at the booth versus just standing there and, like a carny trying to get somebody to walk up and talk to you. It feels awkward, right?
Yeah. $3, 3 balls.
That's it. $3 for a ball. That's it. 5 for 2 or
yeah,
right.
That was always a piece even before HTS was like to exhibit or not to exhibit. Because once you have a booth, you're tied to it and you don't have that freedom of going and meeting and moving and seeing folks in different areas. But you're right. Once you have an established baseline, you're just fostering those relationships and continuing talking about what's in the pipeline. What were our wins and losses? Because in the services business, we both know we don't get it right every single time. We strive to fix it when we don't, but you have to have that kind of home base at that point so folks can take a minute, sit down, have a quiet spot to talk than trying to grab a corner in the lobby or reserving 6 seats at, a restaurant where people are exiting and you're trying to wave them in so that they can come and hang out with you. That's exciting to be able to have a booth, but still having enough flexibility that, okay, so-and-so is going to man the booth for X amount of hours and I'm going to go walk. And then we come back and we swap. At the end, when we were, I think we had a 40 by 40 booth when we were still WWS. It just became so packed full of meetings that you didn't find time until the last day to walk the floor when everybody was packing their stuff up. So I hear it when you say, once you have an established clientele before you get there, we're in the same position right now. and having meetings set before you get there,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your name is going to drive traffic to your booth. Doesn't always mean it's the traffic that bears fruit, which we'll get to in a bit. But it is having that presence. You have to have a presence no matter what, whether you're exhibiting or you're just there and then you're handing out the cards and you're talking to new people. And what I really enjoy is like, you don't just go there to talk to customers, but there's a lot of pieces that help you grow your business that are in there, right? Like when we're managing IRA compliance and talking to, parts companies that has availability for things that are out of stock, or, just building those vendors that help your business grow at the same time. And it is cool that everybody gets to come to the same spot.
Yeah. Okay. Fun story. I never walked the floor until we launched Altair. All the years of my career, I sat in a conference room.
Yep.
And even like the smaller ones, you'd have a conference room outside of hell, we always did. Some of the times we had the conference booths on the floor, which they still do. And then you'd have conference rooms outside of the showroom floor.
Mm-hmm.
If I was just stationed in that, I never even bought a ticket.
Just stayed in the conference room.
Yeah.
People came to you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was my job. Sit here and be in here for this one and out for that one and in for the next one, and don't mess up the customer lineup. And sat in a suit and had meetings for 2 days. And we launched Altair, and I was walking the floor. I was like, wow.
There's all this stuff
Look at all
going
this
on. Stuff.
This is the best time ever. Now, I think back to just being stationary. I think. So, all right, here's my metric. From what I've learned, launching the company, there's how many customers have asked you so many times, where's your booth, before it's time to get a booth. So I've been working on a metric because I've been trying to figure out, too, what's the right time to go write those checks, because it's not cheap.
No.
It's not cheap. And, for 12 to 18 months, nobody's asking you where your booth is. You're a brand new company. You're just, you're launching. You're getting it out there and gaining customers, right?
Right.
You don't have a customer to ask you right off the bat. So I don't know what, I wish I would have taken some notes on that. But, over the last 12 months or maybe a little bit more, there's been a lot of customers. Where's your booth? Where are you located? Where's your booth? Where are you located? I'm like, maybe that's the metric to know when it's time. So that's kind of how I gauged it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so, I don't know, tip for others. There's a lot of startup companies out there. Maybe it's services, maybe it's specialty, different parts, different things. But I think that's the metric to watch for is, are people asking where your booth is? If they're not, you don't need one.
Right. They're still finding you.
Yeah, you got to go find them. You got to go grind the sales.
You do.
Yeah, go grind. So that's what I'm thinking.
What did you think when you picked your spot? Was there like a method to the madness of, I need to be on a corner because I get most foot traffic. I don't want to be by the bathroom because who wants to be there? I got to be up front. Do I stay middle of the pack? Like, did you have a thought process behind where you picked where your spot would be?
Yeah, Ross and I, quite a few conversations, like no less than 7. A lot of conversations about it. And corner was important, which walkway. And the bathroom came up. I'm like, I want to be by the bathroom. Everybody goes there. Like, everybody's going to walk by our booth.
Right.
Okay, I didn't win that one, but
Ross said no.
I thought it had merit. It's, it's logical.
I think so. I mean, when I walk the floor, I use corner booths as reference on where I'm at on the floor. So I think that's probably one of the key pieces, because again, you get foot traffic 2 directions as well. But that's I always try to set landmarks throughout the conference. I'm like, okay, I know I have a meeting there. I just got to turn, because you're always trying to look on your phone, or you're looking at the maps that are printed on the floor, and the numbering systems never make sense. It can't just be letters and numbers like a grid pattern, like streets are laid out in downtowns.
Sometime I gotta get Ross on to tell these stories, but Ross and I have had quite the strategy. Him and I have done most of them together, And for the most part, it started out with me doing all the talking, right? And he's taken that over. But I had my head down, and my speech and answers and stories to tell, right? Just telling stories. So Ross would make sure I didn't get lost because I was getting lost. Yeah, there's still like even where were we the last time? I can't remember, but I don't know. Like at least the last 2 or 3. At the end of the day, I've had to go which way's the hotel, man. I just lost because I get so just tunnel vision on my conversations and the people and the networking bit of it. I love that networking stuff so much. I just give myself to it completely and forget everything else.
Are you like completely exhausted at the end of the show from just pouring yourself out meeting after meeting?
Oh, yeah.
And then when you come home, you're just like, oh man. But then you know the amount of work that follows that's even just as exhausting. Like shows are a lot. It is up early, do your day job, have your first meeting 9, grabbing coffee, and then walk to your next one, and then someone for lunch. And then maybe I got a quick break after lunch and then another meeting set right up until dinner, and then get in the Uber, drive to dinner wherever we're going, have that one, go back to the hotel, catch up on emails. And then you get back and you're like, oh, that was amazing. I just stacked myself for the next couple weeks of unburying what I just did.
But you hoped for that.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's why you go. But there is that like end of show just, man.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I think you got the fruit you were looking for in that story right there, right? Because you were looking for those conversations, those people, those new relationships, and then new business opportunities, right? How can we help each other?
Mm-hmm.
And when you find those, that's the fruit, right?
Without a doubt.
Those conversations. And yeah, the fruit means work. It's time to harvest. You got to go to work. But I think that's it in a nutshell. It's those conversations. And where did you have them? Coffee, breakfast, lunch, dinner, cocktails?
Yeah.
Right? That's where you had them.
How do you kind of track the ROI on a show of like, okay, I went and then, but sometimes that fruit doesn't come 30, 60, 90 days later. And then knowing that, okay, I did this, I took my team, we paid for the hotels, the flights, the dinners, all the stuff. And then once it comes, you see the benefit of it. But it's super hard to, kind of gauge that when you're at the show. Like, oh, that was a great meeting. And then you don't talk to each other you play email tag for the next 3 weeks. And then it comes back and they're like, oh yeah, we did talk and we do need to do this. But I have a hard time with that. Is like, once in my career, I signed a PO at a trade show. Like you just don't get those opportunities very often.
No. Yeah. No one's walking out with a wheelbarrow full of POs. You're walking out with more meetings.
Yeah.
More work in front of you. How do you gauge the benefit, the metrics? So, the metrics I look tops down, just overall performance of the company continuing to scale per plan.
Mm-hmm.
If that's happening, continue your path. Don't change your recipe, right? If something goes askew, probably go check what ingredient changed. Because if your recipe worked once, it should always work.
Right.
And usually you do a change. I found this is a lot of times as departments, companies, anything scales, you forget what got you there and you stop doing that. Right? You think you don't have to go do this one piece again. Maybe it's go grind the sales in some way, right?
Walk the floor.
Walk the floor. You can't stop. You have to continue to do it as a company. Otherwise, you lose your path, your success, right? Mm-hmm. So, and a lot of companies don't. Maybe they get the booth and go, we don't got to walk the floor. Everybody come to us now. Wrong.
No.
Wrong. No, now you just have 2 jobs.
You walk the floor
you
and you man the booth.
Bring a bigger team and take care of both aspects, but never give up what got you there, right? That recipe is important. You can't forget the ingredients. And then bottoms up, I look at it as individual performance. So I don't know if you're looking for like sales talk, because you and I do. Like, how do you look at performance and things like that? But individual performance and effort, and then results is, I think, for all the people that you paid to bring that
Right.
made up that chunk of money that was spent for this. Is everybody continuing to perform? That's an individual performance conversation.
Got
You're
it.
happy with it. That's my thought on it. And man, in sales in this industry, I go round and round and round about expectations. You and I have had a few conversations, and sometimes it's just not a mathematical formula.
It's not. It's just seeing the performance, like you said, looking at it from two directions, top down and then bottoms up. At some point, there is a dollar to dollar cost evaluation. Looking at that, what do you think about the pricing of tickets and then floor space at the shows recently?
All right, Solar Plaza.
Fair?
Last kind of like last minute planning for me. I looked at the tickets. They wanted $2,400.
Yes.
And I went, I got like a day and a half, and there wasn't like a 1 day kind of pass. That's usually cheaper. So I didn't buy one. I loitered, right? I wanted to see it. So I loitered. And I've been going to shows long enough that like I know how to loiter.
Right.
And knew a few people, and got in touch with some folks, and it I got a little bit of that fruit out of it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But man, $2,400, and it's 650 people. That's just ridiculous. And it's in San Diego, where I'm going to spend more for travel and lodging anyway. So I think it was too much. I think it was way too much.
I think so. Like, even though the 650 are great, decision makers for us, we look for decision makers that we're going to see. Like, I was talking with my BD guy, and I was like, find regional managers, project managers, territories, procurement guys. Yeah, it's cool to meet with the CEO. They don't look at what we're doing.
Mm-mm.
They may help at some point push us through onboarding, or if you build it, but
Not likely.
it's just to that point of like getting the right people, and then that mark of $2,400 was just steep. We were there at the show as well. Part of the team went into the show, part of the team didn't.
There you go.
And I think that was a cool benefit, because we could still do the job of the business. And then when we had meetings, we could stop. We're on site. We can still build the relationship. You can still break bread. You can hang out. But ultimately, just having a presence at these places is where it boils down to.
Chasing that fruit.
Chasing that fruit.
Those networking opportunities, right? And OMS was nice. And I was talking with some other industry friends and asking how the show was, kind of like the last night there. Man, it was great. Why was it great? Everyone I needed to talk to was here. Got all these conversations. Any other reason it was great? No, that's my reason, and It was great. So, it brought people together. There's something about bringing the right folks together to have the conversations. I don't know that we need all the extra flair and pizzazz sometimes. I love the political lobbying that some of these companies, the conferences, the nonprofits, et cetera, do. We need that. Seems it's not helping us during this administration, but we still need it, right? It needs to continue. Can we find a better way? Can we make it a little more affordable? So many new companies popping up, so much more demand. The citizens need their power, right? Oh, plus now the robots, we got to feed them. So we got that going for us. So yeah, we've talked about this, and as part of the passion of the podcast, like there's some more digital angles, there's some more networking angles, there's some more social concepts out there that we've been talking about, and they, I think, need us to get them going.
I think so. And, end of last year, me and you and a few other industry professionals were just trying to figure out how do we set up, even something as small as local chapters of, they build wind, they build solar in the same area. How do you put those people together so that you can do it more often and it is more affordable? And it's just talking about the problems, because you're not the only one that's facing that problem at the end of the day. And it's networking and leveraging relationships where people have more experience or have different vendors to be able to just build your Rolodex at the end of the day, so that you have people on speed dial when you do run into that.
Yeah.
And I think you nailed it, of like, how do you get it a little cheaper, and then how do you get it a little more frequent? I know we said we go to shows once a month, which we don't always go once a month.
No, I don't.
But if there was your region, use Tehachapi as the example, like, there are thousands of renewable professionals in this region. And if just even once a quarter, those folks could get together and talk through their problems and talk about, systemic failure issues or manpower issues, supply issues, and knowing where other people were successful, and then everybody gets to be successful at that point, something like that. And I know we'll keep talking down this path through this year, but I think it's going to come into play.
I know our little club kind of fell apart, but I haven't given up on it. Jacob hasn't given up on it.
Yeah.
You haven't given up on it. So we'll make that happen. Sounds like, maybe it's just the three of us, but we'll figure out how to pull it off. I think it's funny, if you're running a site, if you're needing to produce megawatts, right? If you're needing to build a site, knowing where to go find all of the gazintas, the widgets, the people, the specialty things, if you're in charge of it, it's this whole other career. It's this whole other procurement sourcing career hat that you have to put on, and it's really tough. So you just open your Rolodex and you call your friends. Do you guys do this? No. How about you guys? No. Know anybody? No, we don't know anybody. But you call enough people, and then you get on the phone with maybe a you or an I, and you go, yeah, Jimmy does. What do you mean Jimmy does? No, I need someone local. He lives down the street. Yeah, he's got all this stuff right here. It's no problem. We'll send Jamie over. It's no problem, right? The answers are there, but boy, you can't. That Rolodex, it just doesn't exist industry-wide for us.
It's not a yellow pages like you used to pull out of your kitchen drawer and just thumb through and then scroll your finger. Oh, yeah, there they are. Just call that number.
Right.
Yeah, I think the tighter we get as a group of operators and service providers, the more successful we're all going to be at that point.
What's Up Renewables is growing, and we're looking for new sponsors to join us. Our show connects leaders, innovators, and field professionals across the renewable industry, and our sponsors are part of that conversation. Some have seen their network expand instantly. Others have grown revenue and brand visibility through the connections they've made right here. If you want your company to reach the people driving the future of clean energy, now's the time to get involved. Contact us at media@whatsuprenewables.com to become a sponsor today.
Any trade show hacks that you've got?
A trade show hack? Oh, let's see. That's interesting. I mean, okay, yeah. So the one hack I've probably used since inception of Altair, because we didn't have a booth, you get there early and we'd scout out all the common areas, right? And if it was like a small unit, we'd try and find maybe a nearby restaurant or something or a coffee shop, and then go and score a table. Go, can we just have this for 2 days? And, you charge us whatever
right,
kind of deal. So that's a good hack. Heck of a lot cheaper than a booth. Always beverages and food when you need it, right? Coffees for meetings. So that's a good hack. Score yourself a spot. And the common areas, kind of set up shop. have somebody kind of holding your seat sort of thing.
I like that one. Last year we went to a few shows that we both saw each other at, and there was no common areas that had tables. And then it makes the restaurants become the niche piece. Or
Was this Vegas?
no, we were in Nashville last year.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, there was like no place to sit, and we're like, "I'll meet you on the show floor." And like, where on the show floor? Because there's not a bunch of tables that you can go sit down at. There was a cool one this last time in Orlando. I went to a meeting at a pool cabana because the pool cabana was cheaper for them to rent than the conference rooms were at the hotel. So they just ponied up by the pool. They had drinks, they had waters, they had gone to Walmart, got some fans so the air was moving, and it was a cool spot to meet. It was quiet. It was away from the show floor. It took a minute to walk to. I like having that time when I'm walking to the meeting to kind of prep myself, make sure that I know names, finish what did we talk about last time, follow up, scroll through your emails. Like, you got to be prepped when you walk into those meetings. It's not a wing it one like me and you can do sitting across from the table here.
Yeah.
Those ones you got to do some diligence when you're headed to.
The hack is prep then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the prep. The other one for me is making sure I write down what we talk about in the meeting. I know it's super hard because you're sitting across from people and you don't necessarily want to be constantly taking notes. You want to be interactive, but just having those key takeaways for the follow-up and then making sure that happens directly after the show. Don't let it settle. Don't let it rest. Send the follow-up and then copy your team members that may have caught something you didn't so that they can add their pieces to that thread. It's crucial, right? Like, if you're not doing that, then you're not bearing the fruit.
Yeah, take the notes.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah, that is so hard. You can't do it while you're in the meeting. Otherwise, it's just it's intrusive. It's obstructive.
Right.
Right. It doesn't seem like good manners even.
It's hard.
You gotta have that quick couple of minute break. Write a few things down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Booking meetings at the end on a quarter hour so that you have enough time to get to your next one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Right? Or to check an email or make that pit stop by the restroom because you had 3 cups of coffee at the last meeting.
You got to give yourself some break, some transition time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Otherwise, you got nothing left. Like, you're completely exhausted and you're trying to figure out where, because you're lost like me.
You definitely want your dance card to be full.
Yeah.
But there has to be some gaps in there.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. All right. Any creature habits or superstitions that you have that you follow for conferences or that guide you?
The way you dress each day of the conference is kind of like a superstition, or just the way I was taught to do trade shows, I guess.
Okay.
My very first trade show I ever went to, I had been promoted out of the field from a tech to an ops manager. And I'd never had the opportunity to go to a conference. And so I showed up in my Justin boots, a pair of Wranglers, my polo, and a ball cap. And I got there, and then everybody's
wearing right now.
Yes, it's still this is my daily attire. But you go to a show, and people are in dress shoes, slacks, button downs, never a hat.
Yeah.
Unless it's a cowboy hat, like we were talking about earlier. And when I met my team members there, they're like, "Ian, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Thanks for the heads up. I didn't know." Now I'm the odd guy out. What was beneficial about that point was I wound up talking to more folks because they knew that I was an operator, not an office guy. And so they had a little faith built in me because they knew, probably because I got dirty every day the week before.
Sure.
But it's like, day one and certain meetings, I still go back to pressed jeans, button down shirt, and a sport coat.
Okay.
But to leave or not leave the sport coat in your booth or in your hotel room. And the last day of the show is when everybody kind of gets comfortable, and then it can be a polo or the other pieces. So I learned that like days 1 and 2, you're dressed formal. The last day is when you can do a little bit casual, and it came from those same mentors that then walked me through. I don't know if I have like a superstition about it, but I keep certain business cards in my badge because it's the best place to put those. And those are like my immediate follow-ups. And then I put cards in each pocket based on when and what I've got to do with them. So I remember at that point. So I have a system to that. Yeah. So it's business cards in my pouch that are, okay, that email goes tonight. These ones are going to go when I finish the show. These are ones that, still have some room to grow the relationship. So I just had to set myself up a system, because if not, you walk around passing out your business cards and then you wind up with a stack and you've got to go back through. There's got to be some method to the madness.
Yeah. That's a good one.
How about you?
I might think about that business card thing, because I typically take notes, but I run out of time a lot. Mm-hmm. So if I put them in a different pocket, that's a good idea. Plus, I have some that are follow-up for Altair, follow-up for WhatsApp, and now follow-up for Flagstone. So I was putting these little letters on things.
Top corner.
Yeah. Where did that one go?
That's the worst, when you know you had a card and then you can't find it when you get back to the office.
Yeah. Or you don't remember who it was the next week and you're sending a follow-up. Then you find out it was somebody selling you something you didn't have an interest to buy. Like, oh, dang it. Feel horrible. I better call this person and tell them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I got a few. They sound like superstitions, but they go to the observation and the remembrance of the recipe. The recipe of how something is done is very important to me, and it's like the engineered side of me. Like, you will always build it this way because it works. So depending on where I am, let's just say conferences, yes, there are particular clothes. Mm-hmm. And like when we first launched, it was jeans, brown shoes, kind of like work shoes almost, and polo. I'm service guy, right?
Right.
Then all of a sudden, all right, it's button down. Then it's, oh, dang it, the sport coat's got to come out. I don't want to lose the jeans. I know the day's coming, but I really like jeans. Mm-hmm. But then it's, so I changed the attire, but then based on the success of my day and conversations, what I wore then becomes the same clothes each time I go.
Standard package.
That stuff lives with the dry cleaner in a plastic bag until the next. Because
these are my trade show clothes.
It's a bit superstitious, right? But it was part of the recipe. Okay, where was I? Early in the morning, if I was standing by this particular sign or at this table in the common area before the doors opened, and I didn't have any luck, I will never go there again. If I was standing in that place and all of a sudden I had 6 conversations in an hour, happenstance, I'm like, I don't even go. I'm not leaving. This is my spot. So it is like superstition a little bit, but it has not served me wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll be there, right? And then I'm continually changing the mannerisms, tones, inflection, and pitch, even small talk words and phrases that I use to see what's working that week. Because I don't believe that the same communication style and words work over and over. Like, you have to change a little bit. Society changes. We all evolve. Nothing stays the same. So when I find that little bit, then that's just what I continue to do and say and run out of my mouth for that week. So a little bit of like superstition.
Yeah, I like it.
But off of observation and, actual success.
I feel like I need to follow you around and find out where your hot spot is to hang out where you have good conversations.
The best part is I don't know till I'm there.
Just stalk you.
Wonderful surprise. And I was like, whoo, I'm not leaving. Yeah. On the last one, I found 2 hot spots. So if one went a little cold, I went to another one. I just stood there. Where was that? OMS.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. There were only 2 places I stood in Orlando.
That's wild.
I know.
And that one is such a spread out spot.
It's only 2 little spots for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the other reason. Like, I have to make sense of this chaos. And yeah, where do you put the booth? Where do you put the person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the value?
Yeah. So I have those funny things. I have some clothes that are now like retired.
Like these ones didn't work at all.
Well, no, I wore them out the other way. Yeah, they worked great. But, and you don't replace it with the same type. You got to find a new one.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you have like a power set of clothes that just like, this is my closer? This is what I'm going to wear?
Yeah, I don't know. I like the jeans.
Mm-hmm.
They can be any color, but they have to be a particular style. And I don't remember the code or model name.
Steph knows.
Yeah, I don't know. And then a tailored shirt. I like a tailored shirt
For sure.
Yeah, that always kind of is a special treat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
something about putting one that's pressed on that was just built for you.
All right. How do you take the pressed shirts onto the airplane and get them to survive to the conference? What are you doing?
I was told that the way you fold your sleeves in, and then I leave them in the plastic, and then I fold them up. I don't take them out of the sleeve from the dry cleaner. That's the way that I get them. But it really just depends on how much stuff you cram in your suitcase.
But you have creases.
Yeah.
You iron when you get there?
I do.
Yeah.
Either iron, or if they're just like light pieces that need to fall out, hang it on the towel rack, take a hot shower. Use that bathroom steamer.
Man, I've ran that bathroom shower for like an hour before because I didn't want to iron. Just hang all the stuff, close the door.
Oh, you take those hotel irons and you tip them sideways, and all the hard water comes out. And
I've had stains on shirts from those stinking
hotel.
No. Do you do any of the garment bags?
I do. I used to travel with a hang bag when I first would go to shows, and then just got to the point to get the right suitcase that you can lay them flat and then it folds over the outside. And I've learned that less is more when you're traveling to these conferences. Like, you don't need more than one pair of shoes. You don't need a couple extra shirts in case you spill. No one's going to notice. No one's going to tell you. Use darker colors so that if you do spill, nobody sees it anyways. Like,
or just tell the story.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man, this guy ran into me. He's a real jerk today. Did you see him?
Here's his card.
You hand him Ross's card.
That's great.
Yeah, and just to your point of having that set piece of like, okay, conference is 3 days, then I know I need X pairs of blue jeans, X pairs of socks. Comfortable socks is a must. Like, dress socks are nice, but they're not made for walking the floor all day. You need something with a little comfort in it.
Tennis shoes. You're going in boots, though.
I go in boots. That's just, but I'm more comfortable in boots. If you see me in tennis shoes, it's because I'm headed to the course or I'm out at the ball field with my kids.
Yeah.
But how about how the kind of dress code has shifted at some of these shows? You see folks in shorts, in T-shirts. Like, I'm surprised sometimes. Never in a booth, but like, I see people that attend these shows, and I think it's because more folks are getting to go that are like, that don't always get to. And then they become so regionalized that like it's easier to send the folks in that region than it is to travel your corporate to every show, but at least you still have that presence.
Interesting. I've not noticed the shorts and T-shirts.
Well, I mean, San Diego was a tough one because it's San Diego.
Warm.
It was warm, but here in a couple of months, let's take a look and then we'll compare afterwards of what that is.
I don't. Okay. Here's a weird admission. I don't see outfits and clothes. I'll never remember what you wore. I'll never remember what anyone wore. I won't remember what I wore. Steph helps me, like, when I'm packing, like, does this work? No, yes. But I think that's the other reason. Like, I'll remember what I was wearing, and then that goes in the closet and doesn't come out again to then, because then I don't have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see clothes fashion. I don't see fashion at all in the world, actually. It's a weird blind spot that I have. So maybe that's why I put a formula to it.
Right.
So I could survive it.
Now you're systematic about it.
Yeah. So you say to people, oh.
Not it's tall tube socks and a pair of Velcro sandals, and you're just cruising.
People are either clothed or not.
Fair.
In my mind, that's like there's just binary.
I will say that, like, if you dress to impress and you show up ready to perform, you are going to perform. I know there are days where I've worked a night shift and then had to get up early the next morning to take a customer call, and then I throw my polo on and I'm like, no, don't do that. Get all the way dressed. Like, I was never one, even during COVID, to be the guy in your basketball shorts and just your dress shirt on the top on a call. But just being ready for your day and for the meeting sets the tone of the pace for the rest of it.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. It is. You have to dress according to, the job that you are portraying, right? It doesn't matter what your title is or your position. What are you trying to portray to people?
Mm-hmm.
Is the way that I look at it. And it's exactly what I say to my wife and my daughter. Would you find me clothes that portray this, please? and I love them. Thank you for helping me. And but I think that's what you have to do, right? And you change it accordingly.
Yeah. How about being at the show and then having to stay out late to either entertain customers or continue that relationship building, and then being prepped to do it again bright and early the next morning? Like, I feel like my first trade shows, it was just like, you stay out and you drink and then you go back to the room and you grind and then you get a couple hours of sleep. And now I find myself more of like, okay, go to dinner, have the right meeting, maybe make a hot lap by the lounge, and then get back upstairs and be prepped for that next day. Because when you have that little bit of brain fog, it affects you for the day.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
You gotta watch out for the drinks. The late night drinks will get you. It's funny. The one in Vegas, RE Plus, that one to me is the easiest one to duck out early.
Right.
It's just all partying, right? There's no real like connections with humans, right? It's just party nuts. So like at that one, I'm asleep by 10.
Right.
9 to 10 every night, no problem, because I'm not needed. The smaller ones are when I get in trouble because it's more friendly, right? It's more intimate. You're having conversations and laughs and getting to know people better. And the bar's, full, but it's not a big bar. So it's not a huge amount of people.
Right.
And it's a great time and storytelling and getting to know. And yeah, those times when I carry on, somehow I've hit this new point in my life where I'm not showing up tomorrow morning. And thank God I got Ross and other folks in that team, and he'll check on me if he hasn't heard from me by 10, 11. You alive? I'm just trying to shave. I'll meet you for lunch. Yeah. Because I used to be able to, and I'm older now. I can't. So I have to choose one or the other, right? Go to bed early or give me my morning, because if
That's
I
fair.
stayed up so late, I got to sleep more.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the conversation groggy and foggy minded. That I'm not going to do. If I'm going to have the conversation with the people that I really want, those fruitful conversations, then I need to be present and bring 100% of me. If I don't have 100%, I don't show up to the game.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I like starting my day reading daily service reports.
Okay.
Just because then I have a feel for what my guys are doing and it gets my brain kind of focused. But I like to start any day that way before I head to the office. But if I can just get a little bit of like what we're doing in me and then get my focus to that level. If I just dive into emails to start and it's just correct this invoice or this guy didn't show up or you guys have a quote deliverable by 2:00 tonight, and you're like, that's not it. But when you're at the conference, it still has to get done. So starting my morning with my laptop open and then just seeing what the guys have, because then I know what success looks like, right? I'm the same guy that in your hotel room, I pull my covers back on my bed because I like a made bed. It just, you have to start the show with something that gets you in that groove, because like we talked about earlier, it is going to be pouring yourself out all day, and you need to be ready for that because they're long days without a doubt.
Yeah. No, I'm a creature of habit too in the hotel room. When I show up, the ironing board comes out or the steamer goes on. Everything gets hung up where it goes. Everything gets put where it goes. It's very orderly, the toiletries, the whole thing, right? It's that way I can come and go and use this space the way that I need to use it.
Right.
Yep.
It makes it really difficult to travel with my family after I've been on the road doing trade shows or just being out, because they don't operate that way.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what is going on here? I don't have my washcloth laid out with my toothbrush and my deodorant and everything in the right place. I'm just like, what happened?
Well,
But I
kids are
love it.
lovely chaos, right? I mean, it's chaos, but
I got to take my wife and my kids to that San Diego show because they were on spring break. So
Nice.
they just traveled down with me. And man, anytime I get the opportunity, I want them to come with me. Even if I get in at 11, I still get to see my family before and when I open my eyes, right? I close them and I open them and they're there. And they get to send me pictures all day of, we were at the zoo and we went to SeaWorld and we did this. And I'm just like, oh man. But it's the show that got them to do that and the opportunity. So if you have a chance, maybe that's a trade show hack, is when you can, take your people with you. It's not a distraction. It's more of a morale booster for me, just
That's
having
very
them
cool.
with me.
Very cool. All right, that's a
Yeah.
good tip. That's a good tip. I mean, I brought Steph to a couple.
Yeah, Tiff
But
and
I
Steph
can-
have hung out at shows together.
I've had so many, and it's hard to remember. But I can remember some, though, where I get back to the hotel room and Steph's sleeping. And when I wake up, she was gone again. So we didn't actually see each other for the day. Right? Okay. So we like the conferences. They're beneficial. We
Without
have
a
to
doubt.
do them. But we need to change. We need some improvement. They feel a little clunky. I mean, sometimes I feel like it's still 1990s. It just feels old fashioned. I can't put my finger on it. I think about it a lot. I guess that's maybe the best summation I can say is they just seem a bit old fashioned. We could use some improvement.
Fair. I hate that everybody's trying to sell each other,
Yeah.
right? Like having those relationship meetings that just continue to grow, that's the value.
Yep.
And the fruit and the ROI and the time away from your family, the money that was spent there, like that's what matters when we go to these. And if every now and again we can solve some problems or come up with some ideas to better, the long run of our industry, we're headed in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree. Yep, I'll look forward to more shows and seeing what kind of cool ideas we can come up with to improve.
Is your next one ACP in
Yes, Houston.
Yeah.
Is that June 1st?
Yeah.
June 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where are we? Beginning of April? Middle April?
Middle of April now.
Yeah, middle April. 6 weeks out.
Did you design your own booth? Did you just tables and pop-ups?
Ross did. Ross and his wife Adriana have spent a lot of time on it. I really have no idea what it's going to look like. I trust him.
Oh, yeah.
I trust him. Yeah, we've just kind of gone over space and where to maybe, put things in seats and things like that. But
the carpet in your booth, padding.
I told him, as a matter of fact, that was just this week or so. I said, I ran into Ian. We need the thickest padding you can find and cell phone chargers. That's the tips I got.
I mean, you're on your phone all day. You drain your battery. Did you remember to charge your portable charger?
Yeah.
And you don't want to be the guy carrying around the big backpack all day. You want to have your notebook. You want to have just your stuff so that you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And you don't have to look for a place to put it or the rest. So, yeah, those were some of my original trade show hacks, were find people that had the most comfortable carpet to rest your feet for a minute, and then who had cell phone chargers so that you could when you're taking that break, you could get recharged and do the business.
Idea. Yeah. Little creature comforts.
Yeah.
Just to make it through the day. Mm-hmm. Nothing too fancy. I was going for masseuse and IV hydration, but not in the budget. Not
Fair.
In the budget. Yeah.
What about swag?
Yeah. What about swag? I was a little disappointed. Like, nobody gives out hats anymore. Everybody goes for a little cheaper swag because kind of the swag gets gobbled up pretty fast. So I get the spend. But yeah, I think we got some new ideas. Everybody loves a koozie. God, they'll seem to fly.
You had some great American flag koozies.
At the rodeo. Yeah, those got to come back out for 4th of July.
Ones.
Those are good ones. But then, yeah, I think you got to bring some bigger stuff, too, for your special guests.
For sure.
Hats, and everybody likes a tumbler these days, and shakers and things.
Being able to ship it to them, because it's so hard to take stuff with you when you flew in, and what's going to fit back in your bag.
Yeah, so the last couple of conferences, maybe last 2 or 3, so Ross and I were like bringing a lot of stuff this whole time. Oh, yeah. And then just going home with it because he couldn't walk enough out of your room to the floor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the last ones were like, let's just stop trying and see what happens. Yeah.
What's the coolest swag you've ever got?
That I've ever got?
Yeah.
Man, okay. Jacob, who did we have on from the training company? Marcus Yarnold. Yep. What was the company? Training company in Texas, right? Yeah. Plus, he had the torque and tension tool. Him and his buddy started up that business. They're just getting it going. You're gonna know the training company, but anyway, I saw them in Orlando.
Yeah, he spoke at the conference, and then they had a booth in the back, kind of yellow and blue logo. What is it?
So saw him, was super cool. Huh? Optimum Academy.
Todd.
Well, Marcus Yarnold was
okay.
the guy.
I think Todd Bentley is the guy that owns that company.
Did a remote podcast with.
Oh, nice.
Oh, man. Cool kid. Amazing stories. If you haven't checked out his podcast, Marcus Yarnold, just an amazing kid. Go listen to his story.
All right.
Yeah, and his passion for teaching and safety is just, like, you'll fall in love with it.
They're rope access guys, right? Isn't that what Optimum does? Jake's going to figure it out for us.
Anyway, so, saw him, got to meet face-to-face, gave me a hat, right? Because everybody's got their special. Mm-hmm. So I got a hat and then this cup. And it was like the Wind Energy Rope Access. Like the thermo cups, the double line kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the handle was a carabiner. and it was super late. And I was like, that's so cool. And I do some backpacking, and I'm like, that's my new backpacking cup. So at the moment, that's my favorite piece of swag because it's now a tool.
Yes. Swag's got to be functional, right? Like, it's cool to always get the squishy things or the pens and give them to the kids, but like something that you'll use again and that keeps you bringing them back to your name, to your brand.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Swag it's not cheap. It's not easy to haul in and out of the show. It's not easy for people to take with them. But I do think that there is value in some of those pieces.
What's your favorite piece?
Man. We had a couple cool ones at Whirlwind back in the day. We gave away this travel putter set where you could screw together a putter that you could take with you in a little cup and 3 balls that you could putt pretty much anywhere. And then, Daryl Ragsdale over there now at Pierce, he made these barbecue tools that were just ginormous. And it still lives in my trailer. I still use it.
I know this barbecue tool. I think I have coveted this barbecue tool for over a decade because all my friends have one and I never got one, and it's really cool.
It is a really cool piece of swag.
So that's a great one. It is hard to find stuff. You're right. You guys had some good ideas. That barbecue one was a good one. I would be remiss not to say Candy Valdez has done like 100% of Altair's branding and marketing material this entire time. Everything that everybody has, she's done it. Heck, she designed the logo.
That's cool.
Yeah. And, there's a lot of unique things, but I think what's cooler is there's just a lot of it. We have distributed more branded swag, call it. Forget about conferences, but just continually all the time that it is. I mean, it built the brand recognition. Mm-hmm. So there's just a ton of it out there. And I just love that. And she's just done an amazing job. And she's tried all these different things, and she's always got new ideas. And sometimes people go, oh, that's,
don't do that again.
But she doesn't care, right?
Yeah.
Because she's just trying all these different things. So, yeah, shout out to Candy for that.
How about the shirts Braden made when we went to rodeo?
He found an Amazon dealer that stuck the logo on a Hawaiian shirt, and he knows I like Hawaiian shirts, so appreciated that gift. But we better check in with Candy if she found her way to make an Altair Hawaiian shirt. But love Braden, man, just coming up with the ideas.
Yeah.
And hey, he made that thing, and had it ordered, and I was proud to
brought him out to everybody.
I was proud to
rocked
wear
it
that day.
the whole weekend.
Of course.
Yeah, that was a cool one.
Yeah, people love wearing the brand and making things out of it, and it's neat to see it. And we've already, determined I have zero creativity, so I'm glad other people are.
It's getting your team to ride for that brand, right? Like once you've established it, you've created the buzz, and then when they have that pride to wear it when they're not working, it is really cool. So when we talk about swag, like it's always great to give to customers, but your techs are the biggest ones that want the swag at the end of the day because they'll rep it, and they'll rep it everywhere. And when they have that confidence behind who they work for and that pride behind, like, I love to see folks that want to just ride for their brand through and through.
Yeah. I've heard you say it that way. When people ride for the brand. I've never heard it that way. You and I have talked about brands a lot over the last handful of years, but I've never heard that, ride for the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is neat to see it.
You've got some guys that are that way for sure.
Yeah.
And I've had the opportunity to work with them, and it's been truly awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, shout out Braden.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Braden for sure. Yeah, he did the Hawaiian shirts. He's done golf ball markers.
Oh.
Yeah, with the Altair. William's wife did golf rags. Yeah,
Nice.
or towels for your bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there've been people just doing stuff and
And they just do it.
they just do it. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool stuff. Yeah, neat ideas. Yeah, swag's a thing for the conferences. Those damn barbecue tools never did get us set. Got the socks.
Some of the best socks, though, like they last forever.
Yeah, can't wear
They're
them out.
classic. Yeah, nice job, D.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we got a good year in front of us.
I think so. I mean, off and running 2026. We just keep working safe, keep working smart. Man, I super blessed to be able to come on for a third time in your new studio.
First time in the new studio.
Yeah.
Still a little work in progress. We're happy the cameras don't face that way.
Congrats on the brick and mortar and having an office. You guys had satellites across the U.S. where all your teams were, but I love to see a new one in good T-Town.
Good T-Town. Yeah. We got another one happening fairly soon on the other side of the country.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's all working, but man, yeah, T-Town is a good spot.
What a good topic today for everybody out there that watches this, man. If you have any of those comments or those trade show hacks or those superstitions, man, drop them in the comments. I want to see them. I want to know what they are. We can all learn from each other, and I know that there's some good ones out there that I haven't figured out yet that makes life easier when you spend 3 days from sunup to sundown.
That's good. All right. What are your best trade show hacks and your best or your favorite trade show superstitions? And let's give out an award. So make a reel of this, get the people to comment, and we'll send you a What's Up hat and maybe an Altair hat, maybe an HTS hat.
HTS hat, HTS cup.
All right, there we go. We got some
let's do
swag out there to win.
That's it.
We'll take everybody. You submit a comment, trade show hack, trade show superstition, put you in a raffle, and we'll send some swag out.
Perfect.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Jake, you got that? Just tell me where I need to drop it off.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Very cool.
Well, buddy, I appreciate your time today. And thank you, as always, for having me. It's always a pleasure.
I love that you're the first guest in our new studio.
I'm pumped, man.
Cheers, buddy.
Hey, thank you, guys.
All right, here's to a good year.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.